There's a part of leadership during busy season that almost no one talks about. And it's the part that weighs the heaviest on most firm owners and leaders. And it's not just the tax returns, it's not even the hours, it's the weight of carrying everything on your shoulders. That's where everything feels like it lives. And I want to talk a minute to the firm owners who are holding everything together right now. And you're literally feeling like everything falls on you. From the outside, your firm probably looks like it's doing well. Clients are being served, work is moving forward, your team is showing up. But on the inside, it can feel very different. And that's even if you have stacks of stuff that you're still trying to review. But I want to talk about what's on the inside today, because this is what you're doing all day, every day. You're answering questions all day long. You're reviewing work. You're solving problems as they appear. And some of you call this like, I'm solving all these fires that just keep showing up. You're making judgment calls that only you can make. And even when the day technically ends, your brain actually doesn't stop because you're thinking about the deadlines and you're thinking about, oh my gosh, I forgot to do that. Oh my gosh, I forgot that I need to do that. And I forgot to call that client back. And you're thinking all of these things because you're thinking about the clients. You're thinking about your team. You're like, oh my God, I didn't answer Sam. I didn't answer Josie. I didn't answer these people. So all of this is playing on repeat in your mind, and you're thinking about the firm and you're thinking about, how did I get here? And then you push that aside, because I want you to hear me say this. That kind of responsibility is heavy. And one of the hardest parts of leadership is that people see output of what you're doing. They see what's going out the door. They see what you're on the surface level, but they rarely see the weight you're carrying to make it happen. And this is because you're capable, you're responsible, you care deeply about getting things done right. And you keep stepping in, you keep solving, and you keep carrying. And for many of you, you just keep doing, and you keep doing it, and you keep going, and you stay in this cycle. But here's something I want you to remember today. The fact that everything runs through you right now does not mean it always has to. I want to let that sit. Right now, everything is running through you, but it doesn't always have to. Because a lot of firm owners accidentally become the operating system of their business. Every decision routes through them, every question lands with them, even to, what kind of pens do I order? What kind of this do I do? Even the simple question lands with you. Every exception gets escalated to you. And slowly, without realizing it, they become the structure holding everything together. And if that's where you are right now, please hear this. You're not doing leadership wrong. You're not failing. You're just in a stage that almost every firm goes through. Busy season is not the time to rebuild your entire firm, but it can be a time when you start noticing patterns. All of the stuff I said before, where are those patterns? Where are the decision flows? Where the pressure collects? Where the bottleneck forms? And for many of you, the bottleneck forms with, you have people that are doing the prep part, but only getting it maybe halfway there. Some of you are getting it like 70% there. Some of you are getting it 90% there. Well, what percentage are they getting it there? Sometimes that's what you need to look at, is what percentage are they getting it from here to here? Because that's where you're going to see where the bottleneck forms. So for example, if you have you're working on taxes and your team is getting the tax returns 50% there, and you're having to do the other 50%, Notate that now. What is the other 50% or 25%? And you can put this in percentages to get them to the next thing, because that's what you're going to work on after this busy season is how do I move them from 50% to 75% to 90 and on. But you've got to look at it in small micro actions. And that's what the point of this training was today is this is what you need to be noticing for bookkeepers, where in either the cleanups or like the year end process, where is your team getting it from here to here? Same percentages. What is it that you're still having to do? And this is what I see a lot with bookkeepers is their team does all the reconciliations. They do all the stuff that they normally do. But then when we come to year end, they don't know the year end process. So that's where it bottlenecks with the firm owner, because then the firm owners having to do all the year end. Same with cleanups. They can do all the reconciliations and they can do that piece, but then we have these pieces on the cleanups. Okay, well, now we have to get involved as the owner because they can only get it 50% there. So start paying attention to what is the percentages and what do we need to do to move them from 50 to 70. So that's where we need to look at. And sometimes just noticing these things is the first step towards a lighter future. So if you're a firm owner watching this today, I would love to hear from you. What part of leadership has felt the heaviest this week? Is it the decisions, the responsibility, the feeling that everything runs through you? Just drop it in the comments, because one thing I know is this: you're not the only one feeling this right now. A lot of firm owners are carrying more than people realize during this season, and almost all seasons, honestly, but this season is the heaviest. And remember this as you go through the rest of your day. Just because everything runs through you right now doesn't mean it always has to. I want you to remember that. Just because you're here right now doesn't mean this is where you're going to stay. You get to make that choice to make things better. But it starts with paying attention to where is it getting hung up now. I hope this training was helpful. If you have any questions, drop them in the comments below. I would love to answer any of your questions that you have on anything I've talked about today, and I will see you soon.